Well, hey there YouTube biker people, I'm back after quite a while on another test. It's the Suzuki GSX-8S. So it's literally a test ride, so I'm just gonna tell you what I think as I go. So I've literally just this second just jumped on. Now I'm around 6'2". Yeah, the seat's quite low, but I think it'll be fine. Really clear display as well. Now I'm not going to go through specs and how big the discs are and all that kind of stuff. I'm literally going to explain how it feels to ride as I ride it, basically. And it's yeah, just the initial impressions is it's very easy to jump on and get going and operate. All the controls are where you expect. The brakes feel strong. The engine feels smooth, at least at at slow speeds. The clutch picks up really early, which I really like. You can feel the throb from the engine, but it's easy to ride in town, which I'm a massive fan of, like, Ducatis, twins of all kinds, but particularly Ducatis are great, but in town I don't enjoy the experience of trying to ride them, whereas this is absolutely fine. So yeah, 30 miles an hour in third gear, absolutely fine. So that's one thing off the list that I was wondering around. Is it a sort of a labouring, sort of chunky feeling twin that sort of chugs when you're in 30 mile an hour zones and slower? And the answer is no. It's great, really good. And I'm in the most aggressive mode, and it's totally controllable at slower speeds. My legs are sort of, they're tucked up a little bit, as you would expect for a bike that's can handle in a sporty way, but it's not uncomfortable at all. Very comfortable seating position. There's a fair bit of space to move around on the seat as well, which is great. The controls say it's all pretty standard, but I'm so happy to see the controls for the power modes and traction control and the display on the left. My bike, the Yamaha MT-09, they are on the right with that little clicky wheel thing, and I don't like it. I can't operate it when I'm riding, whereas this, brilliant, big old button, can control it easily when you're riding along. Now the brakes on this, they don't have radial master cylinder, but they have radial front brakes, and they feel pretty strong so far. And there's a good feel on the lever, nice solid feel on the lever, which is great. I haven't tried the quick shifter yet. It's a standard thing, and it has it, which is brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Really slick. And then down the gears with the quick shifter. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. The torque is right there. Instant power. And the quick shifter, so far it doesn't feel as if you have to pick the time where the quick shifter is going to be happy with you, which a lot of them you do. Just give the brakes a dab. Really strong brakes. Oh, this is a lovely feeling engine. I mean, I have a soft spot for twins, and I'm certainly not disappointed with this one so far. I haven't stretched its legs yet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's just so effortless. So I'm not getting much of a sound out of the from the exhaust. Oh, it's just so effortless. It just simply does it though. So it does everything it needs to do. It's like a telepathic link between what you want and what it does, and it has plenty enough, you know, for an experienced rider, plenty enough plenty enough power, like really not complaining at all. You know, people say, oh, it's good for, you know, your first big bike. Now I've ridden quite a variety and owned a variety of bikes, and this would be a fantastic choice for anyone, to be honest. It's friendly enough for newer riders, and it delivers for experienced riders, and for someone of my height, I can fit on it just fine and instantly feel at home on it. It looks like it's pretty decent on fuel as well, just by the if I click. Oh, another great thing, just to point out, on the display it shows the battery voltage, which not that many bikes do. I like that. It's showing, I mean, I've only been riding it for a few minutes, but whoever else has been riding it is showing over 60 mpg UK. Great. It's got a 14 litre tank, so let me see if I can do some screen maths to find out what it would potentially do on a tank. Go down third, see what the acceleration's like. Good enough. No, it's really good. Really strong acceleration. The handling is precise. It's not super quick, but it's it goes exactly where you want. You know, you can really hustle around the bends. Once you get used to it, it hasn't done that many miles, this bike. I've heard questionable, varied opinions on the tyres, the Dunlops. Who knows? You only know if you own the bike, if you're happy with the tyres. The suspension is on the firmer side, but then it feels good. It feels well damped, and it feels like it'd be able to cope with higher speeds. It rolls over the bumps pretty good. It's that torque that you get, you know, from 3,000 revs. It has no problem pulling. I'm in fifth, 46 miles an hour, and I'd be confident, if it was safe, to overtake a few cars. I've had a KTM 790, which is sort of in line with this, and I also have access to an SV650, which is another brilliant bike, but this is that little step above the SV. It's particularly the brakes and the engine characteristic, the low down torque, which is what I've been waiting for in a bike which is a twin with sporty handling, your sort of essential sort of Ducati Monster-esque bike, but a bit easier to ride in, you know, a bit easier to ride in town, and with that, Suzuki has got, you know, that, for me, my opinion, you know, a proven sort of solid feeling reliability, that you feel that you wouldn't have to take it to the dealer every 5 minutes unlike my brilliant but flawed KTM 790. I have owned a Ducati as well, and I loved it, but it wasn't without its flaws. And also Ducati are a tad on the expensive side, you know, for good reason. But this is a great balance of really engaging, precise, nice to ride, sporty bike that it doesn't break the bank, and it does. I could imagine really looking forward to ride this bike, and the looks of it, I think, yeah, subjective, but I think it looks great. Iron fist in a velvet glove. Finally, some twistier roads. Just need to dispose of this Yaris. Yeah, my commentary has dropped off a little. I'm having fun. Let that be known. Beautiful. Bit of dual carriageway. 70 miles an hour as apps, just easy, effortless. Wind flow is smooth. Actually, it's really smooth. It doesn't feel like you even need a screen at this, up to this speed. It's just a fantastic bike. I can't say enough good things about it, to be honest. It's rock solid in a bend. Changes direction. Smoothly, nicely, precisely. Slightly more vibration, around 5,500 revs, but you know, in 6 you're then pushing on a bit really. But 70-ish, around 5,000. Bit of a slight vibe, not too much, not too much. At 70, right, 75. You accelerate, you open up. Still more to overtake. You can probably hear in my voice as I go over some bumps. They're a little bit, I wouldn't go as far as harsh, but I'd say you can feel the effects of the road, but that's a balance as well, isn't it? Because if you want decent handling, you don't want squidgy, soft, silly suspension. And all this, although this is probably quite basic, it does, on the sporty side, a balanced, nice job of the handling, combined with a really nice chassis. Overall, I can say it would be a tough decision between my bike and this. I know my bike probably has more, it's a bit more powerful, but I'd be mega happy with this. A takeaway is that it's really well balanced, compact but not too small, nicely smooth, generously powered bike that yeah, point it where you want to go and it does it, and it does it in a really nice effortless way. A fantastic engine, decent brakes, decent screen, decent controls, and all for a nice price as well. That's the balance point. Yeah, there are, you know, faster, better bikes out there, but for this kind of sweet amount of power with a quick shifter, which works really well, this is a top contender. Not having tried the Hornet, but the Honda Hornet, but on initial sitting on it, on the Hornet, it's way too low. It looks too much like the 500, and it looks a little on the cheaper side, whereas this has more of a quality feel to it. Nice fat bars as well, like the Honda. They've got the little skinny bars. Not a fan. Well, thanks very much for joining me, everyone. Yeah, just a quick sort of test ride on this bike, but it was well worth doing, and I highly recommend you check this bike out. It's a cracker. I'll see you next time. This has been the Tool Biker. I have no idea where I am, and I've got to get back. Here we go.